Do you ever get that strange feeling of deja vu when you try to capture the success of something original by blatantly remaking it? I am, of course, referring to my beloved review of the Treasure Planet video game, which I will now be remaking with a completely different game, Lilo & Stitch: Trouble in Paradise. That's the Disney way. Yeah, pretty much every Disney movie back then seemed to get the video game treatment, and these two were no exception. I already mentioned in my review of the movie that I didn't really grow up with Lilo & Stitch, except for one time when I went over my cousin's house and they put this game on for me to play. At the time I remember having fun with it, even if I only played it for a couple hours or so before it was time for dinner or whatever. But does it still hold up now? Ah, that is the question. So this game came out for the original PlayStation alongside the movie in 2002, and in the US it was known simply as Lilo & Stitch, while everywhere else they added the subtitle Trouble in Paradise. I'm not sure why. Maybe they wanted to imply there was more trouble in the game, therefore more action, since with a girl on the cover, it might not appeal as much to boys? Actually, on the PC version, they removed Lilo from the cover entirely, which is a bit of a slap in the face to her. My copy of the game is a shiny platinum edition, which basically means that once it sold a lot of copies, this is the cheap version they'd sell you for half price. How generous of them. And it's just dripping with ads. Look out for Peter Pan and Treasure Planet. I always look out for Treasure Planet, but I can never find it. This one was developed by Blitz Games, who were responsible for an awful lot of licensed games in the early 2000s, including such classics like Barbie Horse Adventures, SpongeBob Underpants Slam, and Bratz Girls Really Rock. They sure do. So the game starts off in Lilo's room, which is a fairly charming idea for a menu screen. Back then, this kind of thing always stood out compared to a bland list of options. Even the Unlockables gallery is Lilo's picture collection from the movie, which is cool. For some reason, this is the thing I'd always go to first when playing these games. Like, give me my bonus content now! But at the start, you could only ever watch stuff like the logos on endless repeat. This is how I wasted my childhood right here. Actually, one thing you can watch is some of the original trailers for the movie, and this is how I saw them for the first time, in all their bit-crush glory. Before the internet, this is how you had to watch trailers, kids. Alright, so let's get on with the game. If you're wondering what the story is, well, it generally follows the plot of the movie, featuring crude clips from the film in a very oddly placed widescreen format, but it races through everything so quickly that you don't really understand much of what's going on. Most movie games just seem to assume that you'd already seen the movies they're based on, which is a bit of an assumption, but then again, why else would you be buying it? It's an endless cycle of confusion. You start off as Lilo outside her house, and at first, it seems like you can explore the whole island, which would be a neat idea, but most of the paths are blocked off by Wile E. Coyote signs, and quickly you realise that this is just a very basic overworld. What a shame. There's not really anything you can do here, and no secrets to collect. It's so bare. The only thing around is mailboxes you can use to save your game, so make sure you have your memory card handy for that mighty 8 kilobytes of data. Nice JPEG, by the way. Of course, that's another thing they advertise in the back of the manual. You'll never forget your Hawaiian adventures with our official memory card. What, can I keep my vacation snaps on it as well? The open path leads you to the first actual level, and the gameplay is fairly simple. It's another platformer, so you just have to run through the level and get to the end while picking up photos along the way. You know, because Lilo takes photos, it's genius. You need all these photos to unlock other areas of the game, so it's pretty easy to understand. One thing I don't understand, however, is Lilo's abilities. For some reason she has some kind of magic wand she can use to make enemies disappear. When did that ever happen in the movie? Is Lilo some kind of secret magician, and that's why she's always acting so weird? Maybe it's in one of the sequels or something. The enemies are pretty bizarre too. You have your usual bugs and things like that, but what's up with all the man-eating plants? Are they indigenous to Hawaii? You can't even attack them without getting bitten because the hit detection is so awful. It's like you have to touch the enemies to harm them. You know, exactly the thing you don't want to do. And once you get hit 3 times, that's it. You lose a life or leaf or whatever, and Lilo starts crying in despair because she's a broken child. Now, there are other collectibles scattered around, like hidden clapperboards so you can unlock stuff in the gallery, because film directors just love leaving those around, and random pickups like flowers, which don't really seem to do anything outside of a compulsive desire to collect them all. But apart from that, nothing. You just run through the level looking for the end. And, you know, playing this is giving me an odd sense of deja vu. A third-person perspective, man-eating plants, picking up collectibles. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Oh yeah, Crash Bandicoot. Yep, this game is a complete rip-off of...
I hate clip shows!
Okay, I'm sorry, but it's true. Once again, Disney passed off another game as something else entirely. If Treasure Planet is Spyro, then Lilo and Stitch is 100% Crash. And comparing Stitch's personality with Crash, it actually kind of makes sense when you think about it. But it's just a blatant copy, especially when you play as Stitch. He even has a spin attack like Crash. I mean, come on. Even the overworld arguably serves as a de facto warp room. Can this game come up with anything original? Well, this is certainly original. Remember the scene in the movie when Lilo and Stitch get attacked by a giant rock monster? Was this like a deleted scene or something? This is about as random as it gets. On the overworld, you have to beat this thing to unlock another level, and it's painfully easy. You just dodge his fire attack, wait for him to turn around, and then smack him in the back. He goes down in 2 hits, so it barely even qualifies as a boss fight. The game is split up into 3 sections, with 4 levels in each one. Basically, each level leads to a different section of the overworld, but it's so empty, I don't even know why there's an overworld in the first place, so it might as well just have a basic level select screen. You switch between Lilo and Stitch for the first couple levels, but they control more or less the same. And by the same, I mean slippery. With the perspective, it's really hard to judge where you're jumping, and if you make one tiny mistake, it feels like they just slide right off the edge. It's like Crash on ice. If you beat the first 4 levels and pick up all the photos, you get a cutscene with Lilo being picked on by those mean girls from the movie. Myrtle? Is that her name? I would say this is the first real boss fight, but it's more like a race, where you have to beat her in a side-scrolling obstacle course. Just get to the end before she does. Why this would ever happen in the movie, I have no idea, but at least it's fairly engaging, more pacey than the other levels from before. Beat her, and you get to meet Cobra Bubbles. Yeah, he's in this game. He encourages Lilo to lead by example, which apparently involves collecting vinyl records?
Elvis Presley is a model citizen. If you listen to his records, that might help you understand.
Yeah, that's plot logic. The next section at least offers some different gameplay, like Stitch running away from whatever that thing is. Actually, it's just a copy of the Boulders level from Crash Bandicoot, so there's really no originality here at all. Only this is much more annoying, since Stitch can't jump to save his life. You just fall into every pit. Urgh! 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 If you beat that, you get to fight yet another rock monster for no reason whatsoever. These things just pop up almost every time you go back to the overworld. They don't even vary up their attacks. It's literally the same fight over and over again, except this time you have to hit them 4 times instead of 2. Now it's just twice as dull. Lilo's next level goes back to being a side-scroller, only now you get some extra abilities, like this spoon thing you can use to squash enemies with that big ice cream guy from the movie. Lilo is one weird magician. This level drives me crazy, because the records are hidden all over the place. It's so hard to find them. I got to the end and one was still missing, so I had to backtrack through the entire level looking for it. Like, where is it? Here? There? Urgh! Oh, it's right back at the beginning, on top of this Lilo and Stitch museum. How foolish of me. After fighting another, oh, you get the idea. It's another Stitch level, only now all the enemies are robots. What is going on in this game? I don't even know how to attack some of these things. It feels like they always hit you first, so I just end up trying to go around them. And even then, they get in the way of the jumps. Like, get out of the way, I can't see! Urgh! The next Lilo level is exactly the same. You're on the beach, only now that ice cream guy is getting in your way. Like, what? I thought he was a power-up before, not an enemy. I can even still use the power-up while he's there. It breaks all notion of reality. But reality is in very short supply in this game. The enemies just keep getting weirder, like fire-spitting tiki masks. Is there something I'm missing here? Was this in the TV show? And every time you play as Lilo, the collectibles keep changing. Flowers, gold coins, stars, pineapples. It never ends. But with Stitch, all you ever collect is coffee cups. Why? Was Stitch a major caffeine addict in the movie? Like, I don't understand this game. So you reach the second boss, and it's Jumba. Or if you read the text, Jumba. Now, this makes a bit of sense since he is trying to capture Stitch in the movie, but it's just another Crash copy, except Jumba blasts at you with a laser gun the whole time, which makes it really annoying to time your jumps. It's like you have to jump to dodge the blast, but it's too late to jump again, and you end up falling to your doom. Eventually, you escape to Lilo's house, where the aliens rough up the place in a cutscene, and now instead of records, you have to pick up alien tracking devices, so
We can throw them in the volcano!
Did aliens write this game? Alright, so the final section of the game starts with Lilo, but now she's picking up pumpkin bombs? It's just the same thing as before, only even more frustrating. The level is crawling with plants, the jumps are clumsier than ever, and the perspective is terrible. Still, at least when you get back to the overworld, you get to fight. Are you serious? How many of these things are there in the game? It's just the same fight every time. Oh, but now you have to hit him 6 times, so it's 3 times the boredom. Still, at least once I beat him, I finally got to move on to... That's it, I quit. I'm done. Back to Stitch, and it's another side-scroller with alien enemies that I can't seem to hit. Like, I try to attack them, and nothing happens. They're so stubborn. Stitch can lift a car, but he can't take on a small alien sitting in a chair? Stupid head. It only gets worse in the next level. There are boulders everywhere, and some of the obstacles are ridiculous. Like, I'm trying to wait for this huge alien thing to turn around so I can hit it, and then, oh, that's not fair, come on! Even the tracking devices are hard to pick up because the perspective is so dreadful. Come on, pick it up, just grab it! I don't believe this! I can't even walk into something!
No!
You switch back to Lilo one more time, and it's yet another Boulders ripoff, only this time Cobra Bubbles is chasing you, which is certainly something I never thought I'd see in my life. Once you escape him, Captain Gantu captures Lilo, and it's up to Stitch to save the day in the final level of the game, which is just another Crash copy. That's really all this game is. They put Crash Bandicoot into the photocopier and spammed the button over and over again. All you have to do is escape the spaceship and make it to the truck at the end. You get a cutscene where Gantu is defeated, and that's it. You beat the game. No big fight, no final boss at the end, no nothing. It's one of the most underwhelming endings to a game I've ever seen. Even Treasure Planet had the sense to end with a big escape. This is just, I jumped onto something and I won. If you take out the cutscenes, this game took me under 90 minutes to complete. What a disappointment. So that was Lilo and Stitch Trouble in Paradise, and yeah, this makes Treasure Planet look like a masterpiece. Yeah! While that game might have ripped off Spyro, at least it did it reasonably well, while this is more like Crash Bandicoot if you sucked out all the fun. The control is all over the place, there's nothing to do in the overworld but fight the same boss over and over again, and virtually every level reminds you of a better game you could be playing instead. It's just a sloppy remake of a beloved classic. How could Lilo and Stitch be capable of such a thing? And now I know why they added that subtitle, because this game is nothing but trouble. Now, fortunately, this wasn't the only Lilo and Stitch game. There were others for the PS2 and the Game Boy Advance, so maybe they'll get another chance someday. But for now, I think we know exactly what to do with this one.
Uncomfortable? Oh, good. The Council has banished you to exile on a desert asteroid.
Good call. Thanks for watching this video, and look out for more reviews coming soon.